Hi, excuse the coughing. I'm having an issue.
Winter is coming. No, it's already here. That's for our Game of Thrones fans out there.
Game Man's Thrones. Whatever. You're listening to Time to Lean, and here's a song. Season 2, Episode 1. With your hosts, John and Phil.
I've never watched that. I never watched anything. Okay, so Season 2, and we're still talking about things that Phil hasn't seen.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Season 2, Episode 1.
We made it.
Oh, good.
Okay.
That was enthusiastic.
Good night, everybody.
No. That just took it right out of me.
You know, Season 1 took a lot out of me, and see, this was Season 2. We're done. Okay, no. Well,
Yeah, we're trying something radical. We do a 1 minute long season premiere and finale. And then next week is Season 3.
Well, you know...
or we get canceled. I don't know.
David Letterman's Netflix interview show, each episode is a season, so I don't know. Maybe that's a trend.
Well, he's retired, though. He can do that.
Yeah, well, and maybe he has to.
I don't think he has to do anything, Phil.
No, he can do whatever he wants now.
Right. Exactly.
Retired, he's still working.
Yeah.
Hi,
well,
John.
how the hell are you?
I'm the hell fine.
That's good.
I may sound like I have a cold, but I don't think I do.
It's that post-election nasal drip. See what I did there?
Yeah, I got I got a blue wave of phlegm.
No, I got a green wave.
Well, the grassroots party got legal or major party status in Minnesota. So that's one of my friends is excited about that.
Well, what are they going to do when it's legal?
Well,
Do they just, go their separate ways?
just fold up.
The term is roll up.
Well,
They just stay home?
maybe we should legalize it and see what happens.
Hey, they were getting political. No.
Oh, it's hard not to get political today. So this is the
Day after the election.
we haven't recorded for a long time, and because we were editing, and we got backed up a little bit there and wanted to finish the first season. And of course, yesterday was the midterms, and God forbid we feel a little good about it. I'm feeling positive, and then of course now it's old Trump again. Trump said this. God, I just get so tired. Yeah. The media is just obsessed. Everybody is obsessed with this guy. It's a cult of personality. He's got cult-like followers, and I just don't want to hear about what we don't need to know everything he says or does all the time. I want to boycott. What if the media stopped talking about him for a week? He'd go away.
Yeah, I don't know what he would do, because he really does thrive on that kind of attention.
Oh, he loves it. Well, now we're talking about him.
See, we fell into his trap.
God damn it. Well, we'll have to edit this out.
We'll edit that. That's our answer for all the screw-ups.
And we never do.
Yeah, or probably the stuff we do edit out is better. But
Yeah, I can't believe it's not better. Or butter.
see, we have a lot of good excuses here because we just had the election. I'm not unpacked from moving, so I moved
A
recently.
lot has happened since we last recorded.
The chair I often sat in for season 1 recordings is gone. I sold it on Craigslist.
You can't sell your Time to Lean podcast chair.
Oh,
Did you
no,
get
I
extra
did.
money for it?
I should have. I could have signed it. I signed the bottom in Sharpie or something. This is going to be valuable someday, young man.
Sure. Well, I liked it.
Today, we're on a different day of the week than we normally record, and I'm downstairs in the office and not in the kitchen, although other nights I will probably be in the new kitchen.
The new kitchen.
Which is not the same as the old kitchen.
It's definitely not. It's still an open plan kind of house, but...
Definitely, but I bet its acoustical signature will be different.
Yes. What? So you're
But we'll find out next time, I think.
When you say office, are you? Because I saw your new house, but is it like one of the rooms, or you're like in that?
I'm in the lower level there, which we're using part of it as an office
By the fireplace kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you got to get some cube walls for it. It's too
We're
open.
working on putting. We need a cube farm in our lower level,
so
we can feel like we're at work even when we're at home.
Or it could be one of those open. Those fancy open.
It's a collaboration space, Phil.
You
should know that.
I hate those.
Oh yeah, we talk about this a lot, and surprisingly, it has not come up on a previous episode. I don't think our mutual dislike for open plan workspaces.
Well, and
where they put everybody out, and so the managers can spy on you, and supposedly you all collaborate better, and you have these chance encounters. Strangers in the night.
There's strangers, man, and there's strangers in the night. There's stranger than strangers. They're unaware of the unknown dangers and the lone rangers.
Things like that.
Well,
where amazing things happen, and you're all creative and all that shit.
But studies have shown, and again, you can have a study to show pretty much anything, but studies have shown that studies are not reliable. But I'm married.
Exactly.
I'm married to a former research, coordinator, but project manager, and so I can't deride research too much. But yeah, there's a study for everything. But there's studies out about how this collaborative workspace idea is actually not. It's actually counterproductive. You actually get less done.
I think at the very least, people have to admit that some people don't thrive in that situation.
I didn't.
And that you need at least some kind of privacy or freedom from distractions.
Freedom from distractions. I don't care if somebody's looking at, oh my gosh, on my break I looked at Facebook. I don't care about that. Maybe they need a hobby if they're going to pay that much attention to what I'm doing. But maybe they should be on Facebook.
And I don't think most people like that situation. Yeah, we could.
Some people might. I don't know. Anyway, there's so many things that that have happened since we last talked, and where do you start? But
so yeah, all these life altering events. So moving was. Oh, it just doesn't get easier, does it?
Well,
because you had to come help me do a few things.
Well, and thank you for hiring movers for the main things, but yeah,
that's the first time we hired professional movers to do the bulk of our stuff, so furniture and a lot of the boxes, and never done that before, and it was very much money well spent.
Well, your wife was saying, how many times have you helped us move, Phil? And I was like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3, but then I started thinking, how many times have I helped John? How many times have I helped John move?
Well, think of all in the days, the post-college days when most of us, some of us more than others, we moved almost every year.
Sure.
Which is, pretty normal for people that age.
Bohemian. No, I don't know.
But and of course, the Rob and Sean roommate combos, and we'd move from place to place, and then that would change up. The more years go by, of course, the more stuff you accumulate.
And the older you are. So it's kind of there should be some kind of Venn diagram there of age and stuff.
And we were Venn diagram. There you go. And since the last time, so we were in our previous place for a little over 3 years, and I know we increased our crap quantity quite a bit.
Crap quotient.
Quotient, yep. That's that math again for you.
Oh. I'm very mathematical today.
Yeah, we really noticed, at least I did, that there was just a lot more stuff to pack and move this time.
Yeah, I think that's I think I don't know. I've actually gotten rid of things, but I spent last summer, no, the summer before, because I had some stuff left from my mom's estate, and I went through all that and some of the other stuff. Maybe a year or 2 before that, but it's a lot of work. I mean, it probably took 2 summers to purge that stuff, and some of the stuff was things that we moved from our previous house that we didn't really need,
Right.
you should get rid of the stuff before you move, but you got so many other things
and
going on.
We tried to do some of that.
No, you did. Yeah, I saw you.
But
Craigslist.
It barely made a dent. And
it's a lot of work.
Of course, there are things that you don't open, and then you move, and you still don't open them. But some of that stuff is stuff that kids have done, and you need to hold on to.
Yeah,
you can't.
It's hard to.
So all these school things, and her kids aren't ready in their lives yet to take that stuff.
And they may not want it when they get it.
They may not. And the funniest thing, and I was having this chat with my mom recently about this, and I said, up until recently, it didn't sink in. It's life changes. But I basically said, Mom, I think I know how you guys felt when all those times you were badgering my siblings and I to get our stuff out of your basement.
Well,
and
yeah.
Now because it's like I've had these before we moved. I would say to my stepdaughter, like, your tenor saxophone is still sitting up in the closet, and it would be great if you came and got it. And then I think after the third time I mentioned it to her, and she rolled her eyes, it sunk in. that wow, I'm on the other end of this big time.
Well, any kind of life experience like that later on, you're like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, it comes full circle. You become in some form your parents, and Kuna Matata.
So instead of asking what you're drinking, John, what maybe you can talk.
Yeah, this will be a mini topic of booze because of some of our feedback, I think.
Well,
but let's start out our tradition. And what are you drinking?
No, I see that. Don't ask me what I'm drinking. Ask me what I've been drinking.
What have you been? Okay, I want your drinking anthology.
No, because here's I always before these things I just get something quick. So, but it's not a Scotch and soda today. It's an Irish whiskey and soda. Hey,
see, Scotch and soda I think of as more of a summertime beverage. I mean, not that you can't have them all year, of course.
Well, I'm having an Irish whiskey and soda.
Okay, Irish whiskey and soda. What's the Irish whiskey you're
Well,
mixing in?
I just got the Two Gingers. It was on sale, so there you go. I went cheap. How about you?
Two Gingers is always a respectable choice. That is, I believe, if I could go research these things, but I prefer to just talk out of my butt. So I'll do that and look it up later. Two Gingers, if I remember correctly, it is Irish whiskey from Ireland, and
yes.
I believe it's imported by a Minnesota-based company.
It was originally for the guy that owns Kieran's. But,
they own these. This outfit owns all the Irish pubs in town, I swear.
But they sold. I think Two Gingers got sold to somebody else. But I don't.
Oh, okay. So maybe one of the big conglomerates owns them now, or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would make sense.
We'll never know. But we'll see. Maybe we'll find out later.
The Irish whiskey known as Two Gingers was created by Kieran Fulliard. Yeah, man. And is now owned by the maker of Jim Beam Inc. Bim, bam, boom. Bim, beam. Beam me up, Scotty. Irish, not Scott. I'm going to bed now.
I always considered, I haven't had it for a while, but Two Gingers has always been a nice, very light, basic Irish whiskey. It doesn't have a ton of character, but it does not do a lot wrong either.
No, but then again, some of the I think it's one of the better Irish whiskeys I've had, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
I definitely prefer it to, and some people might take issue with this, but definitely over Jameson.
Yeah. Well,
which I've had, at least I don't like it straight very much. I find it kind of harsh and one-dimensional, and I think Two Gingers is better.
But Bushmill's kind of like that too, isn't it?
Bushmill's is a little bit like that. I like it a little better.
But
I always choose it. They're kind of two sides of the same coin, really.
Well, Jameson got overrated for a while there, but I think that or maybe it still is, but I think that Two Gingers has more character and body, maybe if it's the right word than those. Oh.
I will trust you on that because I have not had it except at one of these chain Irish pubs in town that serves a drink called the Big Ginger.
Right. Oh, it's very nice in that.
Yeah, that's about the only time I've had it recently.
Well, what are you drinking?
So today I am drinking. This is a new one for me. It's by the 45th Parallel Distillery, which is based in New Richmond, Wisconsin.
Oh, is this the wheat whiskey?
This is the wheat. It's called W Straight Wheat Whiskey.
And where was it from again?
It's New Richmond, Wisconsin, which is just over the Wisconsin border. So it's just to the east of the Twin Cities.
Did you buy that in the Twin Cities, or were you over there?
No, I bought it at a liquor store here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Their stuff is sold in the region.
Yeah.
In the past, I have done a distillery tour of this place.
All right. All right.
I think they make good whiskey. They make a very nice vodka, gin, and aquavit, and
oh, I should try their aquavit. I like to mix. I've been mixing aquavit in my various cocktail experiments instead of other things.
Yeah, so this is one of their newer products, though I had not had it before. They didn't have it at the time that I toured the distillery, and it's a wheated whiskey. And what I think is, now their website doesn't really say what's in it.
Wheat.
Besides wheat, I think it's usually referred to as a wheated whiskey. So it's a bit like a corn-based bourbon or something like that, except that the mixture of grains includes wheat as well. Kind of like a rye, except it's got wheat in it.
So it isn't just wheat.
I don't think it's all wheat. Yeah, that's a good one. I've had some other wheat whiskeys, which there are not that many of them, but I've had a few really good ones. There's one out of the Pacific Northwest I really liked called Dry Fly. If you ever see that one,
oh, I've heard of that. I think I've tried it even.
And one of the liquor stores here had a single barrel version of it that was barrel proof of this wheat whiskey, and it was really good. So that wheat whiskey is good. It reminds me more of rye than bourbon. Actually, it's not as sweet, but it doesn't quite have that spicy kind of edge to it.
But it's
very nice.
It has a little different kind of flavor that I can't. It must be the wheat, but I can't quite place my finger on it. My taste buds on it. But well, have you?
Yeah, it's very nice though. I like it. It's definitely a local craft kind of distillery, so it doesn't come cheap.
No,
I think it is, as Rob pointed out on the last episode. It's good because it's this cheap. It's not. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was $45, something like that.
Sure.
Which is kind of about what you pay for a small distillery kind of thing.
I guess under 50 is not too bad for that kind of thing.
Yeah,
from what
exactly.
from what I've read.
Yeah, so that's what I've got. It's very nice. I've got a couple of other new ones that I will reveal at a future episode.
Oh. Well, let's see I sometimes note beverages that I have at different places. And I had never heard, I actually was waiting for some, I was at the Mall of America of all things.
I'm sorry?
I understand. I thought they should have, really what they should do is build a Mall of America or a Wall of America and have a big strip mall on the southern border. And we could build businesses, but also it would kind of keep people in and out. I don't know. You could keep track of them, but they'd buy things. So the Wall of America, that's my idea. Anyway, the Mall of America, I was waiting. My daughter went there with some friends. The first time she ever went to the mall by herself with her friends. And, of course, I was there a little bit, but I went to, I thought, the mall. So I don't know what to do there. And I wasn't going to hang out with I don't think my daughter would approve me hanging out with her and her friends. went to Crave. I hadn't been there for years. I hadn't been to the mall for years. The mall.
Interesting. Okay, go ahead.
The mall is so different now because I hadn't been there. I think probably for I want to say 8 years, but maybe not that long. And Crave is still there, and it is what it is. But I had a Boulevardier. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Boulevardier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's not a gimlet. No, but I
or a gimlet. Yeah.
And that was good. I never had one before. I never heard of it.
Yeah.
They make one there. It has like a Woodford Reserve, I guess, and Montenegro Amaro and sweet vermouth and a bitter cube cherry bark bitters and an orange peel garnish. Yes, I'm reading that.
It really sounds it sounds like a variation on a Manhattan or something like that.
I guess so. I mean, it had
some of them I've seen are they do some extra barrel aging of them or something, or they flavor it with oak barrel stuff there at the bar.
Yes, now that you mention that, I think at the seafood place by the Guthrie or in the Guthrie, they made a cocktail and they aged it or something. I think that might have been a similar thing. Now that you mention that, maybe I've had something like that before actually. Let's see what else I had. So there's a place called the Cherokee Tavern in West St. Paul, and I went there. This was a long time ago now. We haven't recorded forever, but I had a. Have you ever heard of Reposado?
No, isn't that a Jobim Bossa Nova song? Sorry. No, I don't know what it is.
No, I think that's the name of the company, but it was a. I had a tequila barrel aged pear cider there.
Oh,
have you ever heard of that? No, it was.
You
probably had cider. You probably had a pear cider.
Yeah, you know who? It's interesting. One of the other cider distilleries or whatever they're called, breweries. Do you brew cider? No. Whatever they are.
Cideries.
Cideries, sure. They have a tap room, and I was there recently, and they had a barrel-aged cherry cider.
Ooh, I wanted to try that.
And that was something.
Okay, going back in time, did you ever go to that? There was like a little place on the way between Rapid City, like going up the hills. There was a little
I know where you're
trader place or something, and they had such good cherry cider there. Do you remember that? It was on the way between Rapid City and Hill City or something like that.
It was in that little flat stretch of road
after Rockerville.
Yeah, well, yeah, way past that actually. Yeah, I can see it in my head.
Well, yeah, and before 16 changed and stuff.
But. Yeah, they'd have these signs up that said, cherry cider, 10 cents a glass.
Oh, we always had that. Oh, it was so great.
I never had that.
No?
I remember the signs though. I guess I missed out.
Okay, it's kind of like Taco John's. You had to try it then. But now, if I had what you're talking about, this cherry cider, that probably would hit some nostalgia notes. I bet too.
It might have. Yeah, it was very tart. It definitely had that oaky flavor to it. Uh-huh. It was pretty intense actually.
Well, maybe this is different. Well, okay. I should try that.
So,
where was that?
That's Sociable Cidery.
Oh, I've wanted to go there.
Yeah, they're in Northeast Minneapolis.
See, Northeast has changed a lot since I used to live there. Way more breweries and cideries and whatever else.
So one of the drinks that I regularly get at one of the bars I perform at, this is the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
that you've been to. It is called the Volstead.
Now is that? I've had that, but I can't remember what's in it.
I'm sure you have. So the piano player and I always get this on our first break. We go up to the bar and say 2 Volsteads, named of course for the Volstead Act. If anybody's that curious, this is crickets.
The Volstead Act, man, formerly known as the National Prohibition Act, U.S. law enacted in 1919 and taking effect in 1920, provided an enforcement of the 18th Amendment, cramping the style of America by prohibiting the manufacture and sale of alcoholic beverages. Man,
this is old Overholt Rye, a.k.a. Old Voldemort.
Yeah, that's why
which is very respectable rye. Don't let its low shelf and low rent look.
It was
throw you
the
off.
only thing we could get for a while in Rise.
Exactly. It's completely respectable. Tattersall Amaro, which Tattersall is a local distillery. They make a lot of different.
What's Amaro again?
Amaro, Amaro, I'll love you, Amaro. Amaro's only a day away.
Is that like a vermouth kind of?
I think it's a sweet vermouth.
It's kind of like that?
Italian style. Yeah.
Okay.
Norseman Olympia, which I don't know. Norseman is another Minneapolis-based distillery. I've had their rum before, and they make some gin and.
Well, what do you think this is they put in the old Voldemort?
Oh my God, it's so sad. We'll edit this out.
Wrong, man.
Because I'm looking it up.
Okay, I'll go get another
okay.
drink.
It's a liqueur.
I've
never. Please confirm that you are legal drinking aids. Screw you.
I just want to know what it is. I'm not going to buy it.
I know. Well, the thing that's funny, of course, it starts to load the page, and then it throws this little dialogue up that, are you sure you have to be 21 to look at these bottles on a website?
Holy crap, I'm 130.
Okay.
Man, check out those bottles.
Sorry, people. Named for the lush green moss of Olympic National Park, this liqueur was made in the image of a green chartreuse.
Oh, is it kind of like an absinthe? Maybe.
So it's got peppermint, parsley, sage, leading to notes of star anise.
Parsley, sage, rosemary, and anise. Oh wow! Oh, that's like an herbal thing.
It's an herbal liqueur of some kind.
Okay, we got to get this guy from Ainani on. He probably makes something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, and a sage maple syrup.
Oh, right.
Which I have heard from the bartender they infuse there at the establishment.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
And the kicker is, so they mix it all together. They put an orange rind on top, splash a little of this one of these boozes over the top, and light it on fire.
No, that's absinthe. How do you pronounce that?
Absinthe?
Absinthe. Yes. That's what they put on there. Mm-hmm. I think, and light
so
it.
that's the drink we always get. It's a little on the sweet side, but it's very unusual and somewhat aromatic, if you will.
No, I always get that when I go see you.
It's good. And my rule of thumb for these kind of cocktails is I like to order things at a bar like this that I don't want to try and make at home.
Well, I'm not going to make that. Although it's always nice to start something on fire. I have kind of branched out a little bit at home with making things. I like on the Facebook Time to Lean website. I posted my recipe for the oldie fashioned.
That's right.
Now, so that was kind of inspired because I had been experimenting with aquavit, which is probably that herbal kind of element that they're putting in that kind of drink you were just talking about. But
right. And
so I went to a place called Holman's Table, which is actually at the St. Paul airport. I didn't know.
Keep going.
I think it's a fairly new place. I'd never heard of it, but I didn't know they had a place at the St. Paul airport. But it's actually kind of a cool place. I mean, the interior is very cool. I mean, it's not a warm sort of interior decorating scheme, but it's the cocktails were very good. I talked to the bartender a little bit there. I can't remember the name, but one of the things that they were putting in their drinks is this thing called Demerara, I think it's called. And to me, I kind of figured it was a brown sugar simple syrup, the way it tasted. And so I experimented with making brown sugar simple syrup, and that's what I put in the old fashioned. But then I looked up Demerara, and it's actually not brown sugar. It's a kind of more of a raw sugar that has more of the sugarcane molasses taste. But it's very similar. Because evidently brown sugar is just sugar with molasses. I didn't know that. Did you?
Yeah, it is
Anyway, so
fascinating.
I started putting that in things.
So not to be confused with, so you say the St. Paul airport, you're talking about the little airport near downtown St. Paul.
It's that little airport where
not the main
private jets,
Twin Cities airport.
No, little puddle jumpers and private jets, I guess.
Yes. Who knew?
No, but I don't know, if people are around, I'd go check it out. The food's good too, but
so speaking of that, unless you had something else.
Well, I was just going to say another thing I made was it's called a New York sour. It's so basically you make your own sour, which is just lemon juice and simple syrup and whiskey, a bourbon, and you float on top. You put a little just regular red wine, and it was very good.
Oh, that sounds good.
And I found a cheat. I found a cheat on how to make simple syrup, and it's I probably would go to hell for this, but in bartender hell, but I'm not a bartender, so whatever. It's a life hack. That's what it is. I microwaved some water and the sugar just for a little bit, and stir it up. And it is too hot, of course, so you let it cool down. But it was quick, and I did that with the brown sugar. I don't know. I'm just saying, if you're in a hurry, go ahead, microwave it.
You use technology.
Don't be afraid of technology.
No,
I got the new iSyrup app. That's what I did.
That's good.
Okay, blah blah blah. I do.
Blah blah.
I should get another beverage. Or
sure,
or maybe I shouldn't.
If you're ready, I can top mine off too. So.
Okay, let's top them off. We're gonna top them off, folks. And here's a song. No. You back?
I am back.
I'm back, man.
Hey, so am I. See, we got a backlog of things.
I'm backlog.
Of comment, yeah, and I was going to bring one of them up since we've been talking about liquor.
You can talk about comments?
This is a comment that I'm not sure. I think it was made in person, so.
Oh, do you see people in person? I don't.
Yes, this is Matthew P.
Oh,
again.
Well, we'll get him on, and he could comment on the show.
I'm working on it. I really am. I think he'd be a good guest star.
Well, wait till he moves to New Zealand again or something, and then you can say
he looks like he's moving to Canada.
Oh, Canada. Time. Well, everyone is. No, wait, no. We got some inroads.
Not for that reason.
All right.
His comment was after one of our previous installments about the difference between Scotch and Irish whiskey.
Oh, he was asking about what the difference is.
That we should elaborate on that.
Well, I don't know. Okay, wait. One's made in Ireland.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
that's it.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, next comment. Oh,
I did
what
a
are you
little bit of reading on this.
Sorry. Okay, what are you drinking right now, though? Did you get another drink?
See, I cheated. I switched to Tomatin 12-year-old Scotch.
Oh, because this winter you're moving to Scotch more than bourbons.
Well,
I
just
used
wanted
to
something different.
Okay,
this is not really a wintry Scotch. The wintry Scotches for me are the ones with lots of peat.
Yeah, you get peatier and peatier as the winter goes on here.
It really does, and we had a little bit of snow in the last 24 hours. So
you broke the ice.
This weekend, I'm going to have to get some Lafroig or something with a lot of smoke.
I'm having an Old Forester in Manhattan.
Old Forester is good.
This isn't the bonded James Bond one, whatever. Okay, anyway, sorry. So the difference between Irish whiskey and Matt P. No, I'm sorry.
Besides its country of origin, the biggest difference seems to be in the kind of the character of it. So,
oh yeah, you can tell that you can taste the difference.
Definitely a difference. For one thing, Irish whiskey is generally never peated.
Right.
So when I say peated, I mean that the malted barley, when it's dried, is not dried using peat that has been set on fire, and the smoke dries the malted barley.
Okay.
Before they distill it.
Right.
that's a very Scotch kind of thing to do. However, as somebody would probably point out, there are plenty of Scotches that don't do this either.
Right.
That's where it gets kind of confusing.
Yeah. Then it's just
There
a
are-
region.
It's a regional thing, but some Scotches are really similar to Irish whiskey. So they have that lighter, grainy, fruity kind of flavor.
Well, and then
One
you
of
get
the-
into all the barrels and where the barrels are stored, and all kinds of things can affect it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors there, but the general characteristic of Irish whiskey is that it's not peated. And the other thing that is different about it is that it's often done in column stills
Is that like
as
a
opposed to a pot still.
copper? No. What's it? No, this is
It's the column stills are those really tall ones,
and the other ones are
are pot stills, and those
Yeah.
really big, old, made out of copper or cast iron or something.
is the
like
thinner
that.
is the thinner column thing quicker? Is
I think it is,
Yeah.
and Irish whiskey is often triple distilled,
Right.
so they distill it more times, which makes it a little bit smoother or more refined.
Refined.
And Scotch whiskey is often only double distilled.
Oh, okay.
So it's very complex, and it's more of just a character, that Irish whiskey, and they're both. The thing is, they're both a malted barley based whiskey.
Barley.
Barnes's.
The thing about it is that you can make whiskey out of a lot of different types of grain, and their origins are mostly based on what was easy to grow.
Sure.
So this Wisconsin place does everything from corn because that's what we grow.
Right.
They make vodka from corn and gin and, of course, bourbon, which is almost always made from mostly corn.
Corn vodka?
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of corn-based vodkas. Most American vodka is made from corn.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
potato.
Potatoes. An Irish
That's
vodka.
a European. It's more of a European thing.
There's no Irish vodka.
Scandinavian thing.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Oh, hey, so
Back in the potato famine of 1825, and now I'm in Sweden.
well,
I was trying to do Irish, my Lucky Charms, and I just slid right into
well, accents can be
Sven.
tricky. But we used to do that on old recordings. It was fun to blend accents.
terrible. Oh,
Or combine them.
They're great. Anyway, so that's the really sloppy way of trying to explain the difference between Scotch and Irish whiskey. And there are lots of Scotch style whiskeys that are not from Scotland now. It's gotten very complicated. So I hope that answers the question.
And keep listening.
My online research almost made me more confused.
Thanks, Matthew Pete.
That's
the one
the
thing I'll
sloppy
say,
John
though, that-
version.
So there's this type of whiskey called single malt, and we'll just remind everybody that single malt just means that it's a malt whiskey from a single distillery. So it wasn't blended with whiskey from some other one, and
And it doesn't
put in
have
a
only
bottle.
one kind of malt.
No, it does not.
Well, I mean, single malt, it only has one.
Yep, but it just means it's from one distillery. So this one distillery, they made all the booze. It could be from different barrels. So when they distill a whole bunch of whiskey, they fill up a whole bunch of barrels in one run of a whiskey. And what they usually do, the big companies, they take all these barrels and they combine them, and maybe weed out the ones that don't quite fit the character they're going for.
Yeah.
And they combine it and bottle it and usually dilute it, because when it comes out of the barrel, it's at a high proof. And that's kind of that, but that's still a single malt. If you see something that says single barrel on it, that means it's just from one barrel. They didn't mix it with anything else.
Right.
They might dilute it, but it's not mixed with other barrels or batches. It's really complex. And unfortunately, the whiskey industry is not super transparent about some of this stuff.
No. Hey, that one guy you talk about is always with the age thing. He won't even review. What's that guy's name again?
His name is Ralphie.
Ralphie.
With an F.
He won't even review them if they don't post the age.
he's an internet crank in a way, but he really knows his whiskey. But he's very he's very prone to sticking to a certain integrity. So there's this trend in the business because it takes a lot of money and time to have a barrel of Scotch whiskey aged for 12 or more years in a barrel. You have to store it and rotate it around and check on it and all this stuff. It's expensive. So when Scotch got very trendy a number of years ago, the stock of 12 or more year old Scotch whiskey got scarce.
Sure.
And so to make it go further, they would combine it with younger whiskey, because Scotch really only has to be about 3 years old to count as Scotch whiskey.
Oh.
That's kind of the legal number of years. It's pretty much the same with bourbon too, but so a lot of companies would make it go further by blending in younger whiskeys and taking off the age statement. So they would just be Macallan Fine Oak whiskey. They would no longer call it 10-year or 12-year. It could have 10 or 12-year-old whiskey in it, but it might have some 8 or some 6-year-old.
And even before when they posted the age, it was that age or older, right? Mm-hmm. In the blend. Okay.
That was the minimum age that it could have. And at least in the UK they do regulate this stuff. You can't just say this is all 25-year-old Scotch and it's this moonshine that you just put some caramel coloring in and bottled.
This a while back, speaking of Scotch, I think I tried to make on a different episode. I tried to make some kind of drink out of Scotch, and it was terrible. Oh, and it was mint or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's you had some stuff the neighbors were growing in their backyard.
I have some in my backyard, but a neighbor gave me the plant, and anyway, whatever. But
medicinal mint.
It was. But at the Holman's table, they have a cocktail called penicillin, which is.
Does it have little floating things of mold on the top? Kind of like when you leave stuff in your fridge too long.
No, I think it probably was medicinal, but it had a couple different kinds of scotches in it. I think let's see, something Banknote and Pete Monster Islay. Do you know what that is?
Okay, so you named two different. Yeah, I know both of these actually.
So they blended that together with ginger, honey, and lemon. But anyway, yeah.
So the first one you named is called Banknote.
Yeah.
That is a lower priced blended Scotch. So it's from multiple distilleries. Probably they just bought a bunch of it and combined it.
I think you've mentioned that to me. You mentioned that to me before. That's a kind of a good price.
Is considered it's a good bargain Scotch. I think it has a 5-year age statement on it. And 5 years doesn't sound that great.
Yeah, it's better than 3.
It's actually, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And for the price, so that's a good basic blended Scotch.
Yeah.
The other one you mentioned is called the Peat Monster.
Yeah.
That is from a company called the Compass Box.
Yeah.
And they're a smaller outfit that custom blends. They're a lot like High West in a way.
Oh, okay.
So they make up these custom blends of Scotch to fit certain character. And this one, as you'd expect, has a blend of peated Scotches.
Yeah.
And I've had both of these. They're both very good. The Peat Monster it's worthy of its name.
Well, and this the combining of whiskeys in a drink I've seen more and more lately. So that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So there.
That's good. Yeah, this Compass Box company makes a lot of different blends of scotches. They have really interesting names and descriptions, and most of them are actually the thing is, everybody thinks of blended whiskey as being cheap, so kind of the low end.
Oh, but High West isn't like that.
No, and the thing is, blending has kind of gotten its own high reputation, and you can sort of thank Johnny Walker for this.
Yeah, because they have the different colors.
All they do is blended Scotch.
Yeah.
Even the very high priced Blue Label, which goes for $200 a bottle or something like that. Even that is a blended Scotch, but it's high quality, and they come up with these, again, the Black Label, the Red Label, the Gold, all these other things. Some of it's a gimmick, but
yeah,
they have a recipe of what all these taste like.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that.
They're of course, people say it changes over the decades too, but
yeah, Ralphie did.
Yeah, exactly.
On that other comment you were talking about with Matt, he said about that episode also was about the nicest thing I can say is that I was running by a lake while listening and didn't once think about drowning myself to stop the pain.
That is a great comment. I'm glad you brought that one up. I'd forgotten. Again, thank you. And
the other thing he mentioned was Hooky Jack. We're supposed to talk about that, but maybe we should wait till he's on.
I think I don't really have much to say about that. So I think if he really wants to do a deep dive on Hooky Jack, then he's got to suck it up and come on the show.
I'm not sure what that was. That a reference to Happy Joe's?
Well,
what is it?
Did he actually say Hooky Jack?
I think so. He said something talk about Hooky Jack or something and posted the link. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have him on.
Okay. Let's do some research and we'll come back to that.
Let's see what other we had.
Anybody else is going to just say,
We had let's see, Ginny B or Guinea. I'll say Guinea. No, from Rapid City. Someone I went to high school with, but I don't think she went by that name. She said, I just finished listening to the episode where you were talking about religion while painting a picture for a baby shower tomorrow. Okay.
Oh.
There you go. We inspire. It's good to listen to this podcast while doing something else like painting pictures for baby showers.
Or running alongside.
Running. Yeah. Yes. We have several. We have at least two runners.
Wow.
That listen to us while running. Let's see. Lee H. Well, Lee was one of the old tape guys.
Our old friends, yes.
And he said, he was talking about the image, the Time to Lean image that my brother Blake made. And he said, an alternate but similar idea, make it one of those drinking birds, but with a mic head. That's, those...
Oh, that's a good idea.
Those dipping birds?
Yeah.
Well, that was a 70s thing. The other comment we had was from Andy R. in Minneapolis. And I think he posted this before we recorded the episode about cars. But he said, you should talk...
I know this one.
You should talk about the Dukakis McGovern mobile, and if it were still on the road today, what other bumper stickers would it have? Maybe would you guys have just pasted over McGovern and Dukakis and said...
Bernie, maybe?
Bernie.
We'd have a Feel the Burn sticker on there. That seems to fit. So I think it would be something like that. Kind of some lost cause candidates would be good.
Oh.
Of course it was South Dakota and...
They're all lost causes.
Yeah, they're all lost causes.
But Billy Sutton did pretty good
a
Democrat.
He did well, yeah. I think he was really well liked in the rural areas for a Democrat. And yeah. I got to give him a lot of credit for getting out there and trying.
And he came a lot closer than anybody has in 20 years, probably.
Go Billy.
Yeah, I like your hat. If you're listening, maybe he's hanging out. Maybe he's hanging out at Hooky Jack's.
How you say Hooky Jack's and yeah. The one thing I'll say about Hooky Jack's, which is probably nothing to do with what I'm about to talk about, so sorry. Happy Joe's in Rapid City, South Dakota, now known as Poker Joe's.
Oh, that's right. It's one of those pseudo gambling places.
Yeah, those awful video lottery
ones. Yeah,
they're
still there.
Like they haven't changed them in 30 years.
They're still the same machines.
I mean, they're like Atari 2600 level of, and they make that little when you win.
Nostalgic.
Yeah.
People are nostalgic for that.
It's amazing. They keep using them and they don't change them at all. But
If it ain't
it's
broke.
just bizarre. So they have that, but there's.
Do they have pizza?
They have a restaurant. No, it's not pizza anymore.
You could go to your birthday parties there for the kids and gamble.
The reason I bring that up is because one of the last things I did with my late father. We talk about our dads all the time.
What
does that say?
You talk. Well, we're getting to that age. I mean, I haven't talked about my dad a lot, but I mean, I've talked about your dad more than my dad. Sorry, Dad. Yeah. But I'll talk about my dad sometime. But I think we're almost 50, and I think you start. But like you said earlier, you kind of associate. You have more life experiences that you remind you in reverse, kind of what your parents went through. So I mean, it makes sense. Well,
this place though is one of the last things I did with my dad.
Poker Joe's.
Well, he went there because I don't know how often it was. I'll have to check. Maybe it was once a month or something like that. He and a lot of the other retired teachers in town would get together for what they called the old geezer breakfast.
At Poker Joe's?
And that was that's where they met. Yeah, they did.
They have breakfast there?
And I went there once with him.
Okay.
Not maybe it was the year before he passed or something like that. But it was something else. A lot of people that I remember from growing up who were teachers in the school.
Your teachers.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it was all these retirees. I think it was all. I'm pretty sure it was all men. Let's just be honest.
but you're all you're kind of hanging out with your former teachers in a different context. It's kind of
weird.
Weird.
I was just the guest,
the kid.
Yeah.
You never taught anything.
Arr.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
That's my little sidetrack about Poker Joe's.
I don't think I've been in there.
Hooky Jack or whatever it is.
Hooky Jacks.
I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, we'll have Matt on. So there. What else has happened? Let's see. I moved. You moved houses, and I moved cubes. I moved to a different cube. That's
exciting. You're next to the water cooler. Is that what I hear?
I've moved kind of away from the hotline with all that hubbub, and now I've moved over to closer to the water cooler, which has a different kind of vibe. It is overall. I mean, other than the sound, it's. It is a bit quieter over there, and I think I probably can concentrate better. But
is this something you requested, or are they shuffling your staff around?
No, I didn't request it, but I mean, for me, I think it's good to. I need to do something different every 2 to 3 years, and it had been about 3 years in that cube, which used to be your cube, I think, right?
It was a long time ago. We should call this podcast Ingrown
or Cube Talk. This episode would be Cube Talk.
Yeah,
I can't think of any song for that, but I don't know. That's about it. This was kind of in a way, it was a housekeeping episode, but
just to say we're still here.
We're still here. Here are the drinks I've tried. Somebody moved.
I was thinking about what we talk about on this episode, and one of the things that I'm sure that we would like to do going forward is maybe rely a little bit less on our nostalgia angle.
No, yeah. Well, there's only so much. We'll have to start making up stuff.
We will make up some things.
Make up nostalgia.
Life happens.
Remember that time that we started a forest fire? See, we'll make up different. We'll make up nostalgia.
Exactly.
No, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we have other topic ideas.
I think so, and so just to put it out there, we're going to try and grow a little bit beyond our. I think alcoholic beverages will always be a part of the show.
People like stories. We'll keep that.
Story.
A lot. I've got good comments about stories, and
Yes, and our guest stars have been popular.
Right. We'll have more and new and reoccurring guest stars.
I think so.
That's our promise to you, folks.
Somebody listens to this thing.
Well, let's see. We're almost up to the 600 download mark. We'll have to have a special celebration when we get up to the 666 download. We'll have a special guest by Satan. Satan will be the narrator. No, but another thing was what was I going to say? Oh, yes, we'll edit that out. I hope. The
wrong.
I posted on. I posted on Bandcamp on my.
Yeah. Let's log roll ourselves.
Yes, on my Nachi Maz studio. Before that was just songs that I did under the Nachi Maz moniker, but now I'm putting just because I'm too lazy to try to figure out how to do another separate page, but I put up now it's Nachi Maz Studios, and I know that we're not.
How many studios do you have?
I know we're not. No, that's just that one. Well, you had the hole in the ground studio. That's what we used to record in for a while,
aka my high school bedroom.
For a while, I had Hole in the Head Studios. Well, anyway, so on Bandcamp, on the Nachi Maz page is the soundtrack, I guess you would say, to season 1. All the songs. Some of them are mercifully short, and actually, they're all kind of on the short side. They're all kind of.
I describe them as demos.
Yeah, I kind of say demo plus.
Because they're definitely on the rough side, and it's about the marketplace of ideas. Phil.
Well, we're basically we have an episode, and we write a song, pretty and record it pretty quickly.
We write the songs.
It's not like Neil Young. I mean, he can do like a whole album in a day. It's not quite that fast, but no, but it's efficient.
We'll never be an opera star.
And I ain't got no T-bone.
But I got I'd like some mashed potatoes, actually.
That sounds pretty good. Mm-hmm. It would go really well with the Swedish meatballs I'm eating right now.
So speaking of that,
mashed potatoes?
What are you doing for Thanksgiving this year?
Well, I don't know. See, that's the thing. Well, no, I know, but we don't know who's going to do the mashed potatoes this year, so that's kind of...
Do you rotate who hosts and cooks the turkey?
Yeah, so one of my brothers lives in Wisconsin, and he hasn't hosted yet, but maybe he will. But my other brother lives in Blaine, and so Brett and I alternate, and Blake and his family come from Wisconsin, and my dad usually comes from Rapid City, and last year brought his girlfriend, and maybe will again. And so Brett and I alternate. So this year I'm hosting. So that means I make the turkey. Now, in the old days when you hosted, I mean, my grandma and my mom, they made everything. They made all the sides. I mean, maybe other people would bring pies, but I mean, she did the turkey and all the sides, really. But we don't do that. I don't know how you do that unless you have more than one oven. I don't get it. I don't get the timing.
It takes a lot of coordination.
It is. Even when just making a turkey in a couple sides, it takes, I don't know. I'm a logistics guy at work, but I'm not necessarily at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We're on our own this year, I think, and we're just going to we might actually go out.
Just you and the wife?
Yep.
Where you will get Chinese food?
That's Christmas, I think.
Oh, sorry.
And we're going to Rapid City this year for Christmas. So
I guess that's a stereotypical Jewish thing to do.
It is, but it's not a bad idea.
No. Oh, that reminds me of a Christmas story where they go to get the duck. But
oh, that's so funny. It's great, and they all sing.
Oh yeah,
that's a great scene.
Anyway,
actually, well, I don't know what to make of this episode, Phil. It's we had to start somewhere, and we'll get our act together.
I think we just had some housekeeping to do, and
yeah, we have to get back on the horse.
Yeah, and feed.
Had time off, and
I'm going to look it in its mouth because it was a gift.
I'm actually quite happy with the way our season finale episode with Rob turned out. I think it was good.
Yeah. And for me, it was. I've been trying to keep them to like 45 minutes to an hour, but like you pointed out, a lot of these podcasts. I mean, I don't know. They go a lot longer than that. Not that we have to, but
no.
Fine.
This one I think is going to be more on track.
All right, John. Well, thank you.
Well, it's great, Phil. We'll do it again next week, hopefully, and get back on a schedule. Please leave us any comments either on our Twitter or Facebook.
Buy a song.
Facebook is the devil's tool, but use it anyway.
You buy a song. Send us your thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. Start a podcast called Thoughts and Prayers.
That'll be the next season. Season 2, Thoughts and Prayers. All right.
Thoughts and Prayers edition. Yes.
Electric Boogaloo. All right. Good night, John.
Good night, Phil.
Sean. If it ain't broke.
Bizarre. Anybody else is going to just say, It's so funny because I was at rehearsal last night and one of the people in the bass section, who I will not name to protect his innocence, told me a story about...
Bass players have no innocence.
meeting Hubert Humphrey a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. I was just at his hall.
Has a connection. Yeah, there you go.
and go blue.
Thank you, everybody who is listening.
And go blue.
And please... And go vote?
Go blue. No, I don't. If anybody tells me to vote again, God, I was getting sick of that.
Know.
Oh my God!
It's like, okay, we get it.
Every 5 minutes. Oh, are you gonna vote? It's like, shut up! I'm not gonna vote now. Screw you.
Minnesota had 73%
in the midterm
voter turnout in a midterm, which is amazing, actually, unless you think that more people should vote. But for our national average, it's really good. So go us.
Yay!
And
here's the song!
I'm still leaning, baby. Why don't you treat me right? I'm just leaning, baby. Won't make a fuss or fight. I need a good leaning lady. Can I lean here tonight? I'm just leaning, baby. Why don't you treat me right?
Treat him right. Treat him right.
I'm still leaning, baby. Won't make a fuss or